worksheet that you're doing, numbers 1, 2, and 3, you're going to go through. First thing you're going to do is you're going to underline the gerund, okay? And remember, what are the 3 functions of gerunds we talked about? What's one of them?
Subject.
Subject, good.
Direct object.
Direct object.
Subject.
And subject complement. Okay, so every one of those gerunds is going to be used in one of those 3 ways, okay? So it shouldn't be anything surprising. First thing you're going to do, read through the sentence, underline or circle the gerund, okay? And then in the blank, you're going to write what the function is, okay? And all that's either going to be subject, subject complement, or direct object, okay? Continue. Okay, what was your question? Yeah, okay, and how do you know it's the subject? Good. Okay, so you found the gerund, you identified it, you circled or underlined it, then you looked for the main verb, which was what? Is, good. And you saw that chasing came before the main verb, so it was the subject of the sentence. Good. Okay, y'all are on the right track. Okay, this group, how are you doing? Oh, not very good. Okay, why?
Is that?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so remember, this is like your gerund Bible. Okay, so everything written on here is what's going to guide you through this worksheet. Okay, this is everything you need to know. So how did you know that that was the subject of the sentence?
Because it came before the main verb.
It came before the main verb. Good. So you went through, you underlined or circled the gerund, right? Okay. Then you found the main verb. That's your step 2. What's your main verb here?
Is.
Is. Good. Okay. And you didn't even have to tell if it was an action verb or a linking verb, right? Because since the gerund came before the main verb, you already knew. Check. That's the subject. Ready to move on to the next one. Good. What about number 2? What about number 2 do you find confusing?
I don't know where the main verb is.
Okay, that's good. So first you circle your gerund. Okay, then you identify the main verb, which Miles already told us is. Is a linking verb or an action verb? Linking, good, or helping. Right. Okay, so then you look on your sheet. Which kind of, which function is going to come after a verb like is? Okay, a verb that's not an action verb. So subject complement. Just to make sure, let's run our test. Okay, what's our test that's written on there? Yeah, replace the verb with an equal sign. See if it works. Okay, and if it works, you've got a subject complement. Okay, this group, how are y'all doing? Okay. Okay, let's look at number 1 again. Okay, chasing squirrels is Dylan the dog's favorite activity. Go through, the first thing I want you to do is circle your gerund. Oh, I'll be right over there, 1 second. First thing I want you to do is circle your gerund. Yeah, chasing. Good. Now go through and find your main verb. What's the main verb of that sentence? Is, okay? So underline that, mark it somehow so that you know. Okay? Now, does the gerund in that sentence come before or after the main verb? Yeah, before. Okay, the verb comes after the gerund. Okay, the gerund comes before the main verb. So what does that already tell us? Remember what we wrote on there? Subject always comes when? Okay, so when you have a gerund before the main verb, in these cases, it's going to be the subject. Okay? So, subject is given. Okay, and I'll come back and check some more. Okay, this group. Did y'all have a question?
Since this is a gerund phrase,
Okay, yes.
when you underline it, because like it says underline in the following sentences, what would it be like a direct object or like a subject or a subject complement?
Okay, so the gerund phrase, don't let that part confuse you, okay? The gerund phrase is just the gerund and the words that go along with it. So in that case, the gerund would be taking, the gerund phrase would be taking a bath, right? So first, what's our first step when we look at the sentence and we want to find the function of the gerund?
We ask like what? Isn't it like we ask what?
Okay, that's once you found the verb. What's very basic step? First, we just want to go through and circle the gerund, the actual one word that's the gerund. So do that first. Okay, now we want to find the main verb. Is, good. Okay, so mark that somehow just so you'll remember it. Now, does the gerund come before or after the main verb? After, okay. So, we know it's not the subject, right? The subject will come before the main verb. It's either a subject complement or a direct object. So now is when we look at our functions of gerunds worksheet, okay? And you're going to look, what kind of verb is?
What's the making?
Okay, good. It's not an action verb. So you're going to look at these two sets of directions. So finding a subject complement, finding a direct object. Find the one find which function follows a verb that is not an action verb. Okay, look. Okay, a subject complement comes after what kind of verb? Good. Okay, so we know we've got a gerund after our verb. It's a linking verb. What's our final test that we can do to make sure this is subject complement? Yeah, replace the verb with an equal sign. Okay, so do that and see if it works. Alright, how are y'all doing? Good. Oh, y'all are looking through it. Let's see. Okay, let's look at numbers 2 and 3. Okay, I think you're just reversing the two. Okay, which one, looking at your functions of gerunds note sheet, which one comes after an action verb? A direct object or a subject complement? A direct object, right. Okay. So looking here, looking at number 3, what kind of verb is requires? Yeah. What kind of verb is requires? Is it a linking verb or a helping verb or action? It's an action verb. It seems kind of like it would be a linking verb because you can't necessarily, it seems like it would be hard to show requires, right? But you could show me a list of rules on a wall that show requirements, show what a teacher requires of you. Where you couldn't point to a wall and show me is, right? So think about that. I think you might want to switch those. Run your tests, okay? Dean, how are you doing? Hey, y'all are doing a good job on this bottom part with adding in your gerunds. As look, direct subject. But you also need to think about numbers 2 and 3.
On number 3, it's a direct object. Does it have to end with ing? Because we looked at the examples and this one would end with ing.
I know, that is just an example of a direct object in general. Okay, using a gerund as a direct object. Remember, a gerund is always going to be a verb ending in ing that's used as a noun. Okay, so it can be more than one word, like what you said, dancing, ballet. Okay, yeah, shooting basketball. What does it say? Playing basketball involves
Dribbling and shooting.
Good job, Jack. Dribbling, shooting, passing, running, jumping, wearing shoes. Okay, that's great. Y'all are look through it. Let's see. Okay. Did y'all go through this together? You have the same answers? Well, at least for the top part, you have the same answers? Okay. Oh. I like your number 3. Playing basketball involves giving everything you've got. Okay, so now what I want you to do, since you all are finished, I want you to exchange papers, okay, and check over each other's bottom 4 answers, okay? So just pass them on. Okay, that's great. You still have one more left. Don't forget about that one at the very bottom. Okay, so do y'all have all the same answers for the top 1, 2, 3? Okay. Good, good. Okay, that looks good. So what I want y'all to do, finish your last question where you write the sentence. And that really should just be reviewed because that's like what we did with our game yesterday, right? And then when you've written your sentence using a gerund as a subject, I want you to exchange papers and check each other's work.